Throughout history, maps have shaped our understanding of the world. But what if some maps shaped myths instead? Welcome to Mythantis. Today we explore Tartaria, a name once sprawling across centuries-old maps, and ask, might it have been an empire lost? Or just our ignorance given shape? Across centuries-old maps, you'll find a name sprawling across Asia. Tartaria. Who exactly lived there, and why did European imagination assign such a name? On old European maps, Tartaria spans a vast unknown, from Siberia through Central Asia to Mongolia. Was it ever an empire, or merely a placeholder for what Europeans did not understand? From the 13th century, European maps wrote Tartaria across vast lands. But it was not a state, it was a fragmentary hope at charting the unknown. Historians like Mark Elliott call it a concept built on ignorance, not identity. Scholars have long debated its meaning, unfurling the layers of misunderstanding that have accumulated over time. The term comes from Latin Tartaria, derived from Tatar, used broadly for Turkic and Mongol groups. By the 1600s, merchants, missionaries, and geographers used Tartary to denote lands they'd never visited. As maps improved, Tartary was subdivided. Russian Tartary, Chinese Tartary, independent Tartary. These distinctions weren't based on political borders but limited knowledge. In the 19th century, British artists like William Daniell and explorers such as Thomas and Lucy Atkinson journeyed into Tartary and left detailed travelogues. Lucy's writings describe colorful markets, nomadic rituals, and hospitality in the Altai Mountains. Her tales replaced myth with human detail. Medieval travelers spun tales of the vegetable lamb of Tartary, plant-animal hybrid that grew sheep-like lambs connected by roots. These stories show how cartographic ignorance fostered imaginative explanation. Tartary became a canvas for myth. In modern times, a new idea took shape. The supposed Tartarian Empire, a lost, advanced civilization erased from history by mud floods or global conspiracy. It's a theory born from internet forums and nationalist pseudoscience with no foundation in evidence. Historians emphasize that Tartary was never an empire. It was a cartographic shorthand. Leading researchers note that as geographical knowledge advanced, the term gradually vanished by the late 19th century. Documentary evidence clearly shows independent khanates like Kazan, Kokand, Bukhara, each with distinct cultures and languages. Russian, Chinese, and Persian sources begin using local names by the mid-1800s. So why does Tartaria fascinate us? Because myths satisfy emotional needs, belonging, mystery, hidden knowledge. Yet in telling myths as if they were truths, we risk losing sight of actual history. Maps once reflected belief. Today, we must let evidence guide us. Tartary's legacy isn't a hidden empire, it's a lesson. The term shows how human understanding evolves. What was once dark and unknown became defined through exploration and scholarship. In reality, Tartar originally referred to Turkic and Mongol peoples. Its lands were home to khanates, nomads, and shifting borders. Those who lived within the so-called Tartaria wielded their own narratives, filled with rich traditions and histories entirely overlooked by the European gaze. The story of culture, not conspiracy. Though Tartary disappears from modern atlases, the lands persist, home to art, languages, and the cradle of the Silk Road. Though the term fell out of use by the early 20th century, it lived on in popular writings, like Peter Fleming's travelogue News from Tartary, 1936, chronicling his adventures through the Wakhan Corridor and Pamirs. If you travel those same roads today, you'll witness descendants of those nomadic peoples, Kazakh eagle hunters, Kyrgyz yurt camps, Uyghur markets in Xinjiang. Living in landscapes shaped by centuries of migration, these are the places once swept into the broad strokes of Tartary, no longer unknown but thriving. So where does that leave us today? Tartary doesn't point to a lost civilization, but to a history of exploration, evolving knowledge, and the gradual unpacking of the unknown. The Silk Road, nomadic kingdoms, and modern countries like Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and regions of Siberia are the real successors of those once blurred boundaries. In academic libraries, you can still trace that transformation, the fading of Tartary, and the rise of terms like Central Asia, Inner Asia, and Siberia. Modern geography owes its clarity to generations of scholars, explorers, and indigenous voices revealing what was once obscured under that old name. The journey through the idea of Tartaria mirrors the clash between reality and myth, inviting us to reassess our understanding of the world and those who have been marginalized throughout time. In unraveling the myth of Tartaria, we discover a tapestry rich with the stories of peoples and cultures, reminding us that history is not merely a tale of empires lost, but a symphony of shared human experiences. Let us embrace this understanding, honoring the complexities that define our past. If you enjoyed this journey through history, consider subscribing for more stories that honor our shared human experiences.